That's what brought me to Starrag. You know, they make the nicest machines. These are the Ferraris of the machine world. You know, super high precision, super speed, amazing applications that have taken me across the world to different factories.
Basically, with our machine configuration, we can lower it from 65 diameter bar, so 2.5 inch, and we can go down to maybe 4 millimeters stock bar, so we are very flexible.
So the machine behind you is an LX021, and it is a relatively new machine which has the capability to run lights out blades.
We all have to work as a team to make sure the customer understands the high-end technology that Starrag offers today. And that's key, helping people understand how it all works, especially as things develop time and time again.
Hello my friends, and welcome back to MTD CNC North America. As you can see, I'm at Starrag today, and we are doing a roundtable, which is a benefit for you guys because I have 4 incredibly intelligent people here that want to share success stories in different aspects of Starrag, from the machine behind me to Bumotech to the big Heckert machines, and even an educational platform to inspire you guys to get involved in this manufacturing world as well. But we're going to start our first story off with my buddy Matt and the machine behind me. So Matt, let's talk a little bit about the success that you know through Starrag and this beautiful machine behind me.
So the machine behind you is an LX021, and it is a relatively new machine which has the capability to run lights out blades, right? And, you know, it can be configured with a bar feeder and a part storage as well as a conveyor system. And I'm working on a project right now where I'm trying to give a customer the capability of being able to run a fully autonomous solution where they only have to attend the machine once per week.
Wow.
And, you know, other than that, it's just producing parts and making money for them.
Well, once per week is significant. I've heard, you know, every 8 hours on a shift. I've heard 11 hours. I've even heard 24 hours, but once per week, that's incredible. How does that actually work for someone who wants to get involved with you in this machine?
Well, I mean, I would say that they can reach out to me via LinkedIn, or they can reach out to my sales counterparts, and we can surely set them up with, you know, a good opportunity.
And it'll show up on their doorstep straight away, right?
Yes, yeah.
This is part of the cure to that skills gap we have, isn't it? Being able to buy a few of these machines, attend to them once a week, and we can get a lot more done.
Absolutely, and part of that is being able to utilize the equipment to its fullest capability. I mean, Starrag does a lot of development as far as tools, being able to optimize material removal, being able to extend tool life, and then, as I said previously, implementing automated solutions that, you know, facilitates minimal hands-on action.
Well, I think this is a good story for people like myself who, when I see a machine this size and I know that Bumotech is under the umbrella of Starrag, I think, oh, this must be a Bumotech. But this is the Starrag brand. This is a Starrag machine. This is the same success that we get from the ones that are the size of the building we're in, right? It just filmed in front of an EcoSpeed or an EcoSpeed, but this is the same style machine that's going to give that success story to the customers out there watching.
That's absolutely right. And this machine is designed specifically to be able to produce parts in the aerospace industry, in the gas turbine industry, you know, cutting the, you know, the super alloy materials such as your Inconels, such as your Renays, and, you know, various other types of titanium. So, you know, Starrag's done a phenomenal job to match a machine to the application within the industry.
Hervé, good to see you again, my friend. And knowing that all 4 of the guys here are application engineers, we're not just giving these sales pitches, right? These are success stories from you guys being in these shops, talking with the customers, helping them implement success through the Starrag platform. But we're on Bumotech now, right? You are the Bumotech star. Let's talk about a success story with your platform.
Exactly, Tony. So I have an example of this customer on the spinal industry. So as you know, the PEEK, for example, is very expensive, and his trouble was he was wasting a lot of material, and he had like 2 different machines to finish the parts. So I was thinking about a solution of making 2 parts in the bar, so a male and a female in the smallest bar stock as possible in order to avoid wasting material. So thanks to our machine, Bumotech machine flexibility, I could machine the first side, so both parts. You're like, okay, it's not very complicated, but then we have to do a lights out production. So with our machine, we can have two different vices because there is like a left side and a right side. So both parts are different, basically. So I could use the first vise and transfer the parts on the vise number 1, finish the back side, then I can unload the finished part, and then I can grab the second part with the other vise, basically. So when it comes to application on such sophisticated machine, we have to use our imagination in order to be successful. And at the end of the day, I think he saved about 30% of material in order of waste. So it was a good success for us and for him, obviously.
When I think of Bumotech, I always think of multi-axis machine that can do anything. You take a raw piece of material, put it in the machine, and you put it in a shipping box. And it's oftentimes that, and it's condensing multiple machines. But let's first start where you mentioned PEEK is expensive, right? So you're taking this material and having less waste. That in itself, you already mentioned 30% time savings, but what about the cost savings that goes along with that? And if you're anything like me, and you might not be because you're smarter than me, I've struggled at machining PEEK. I've ripped up tools because of PEEK. It wraps around my cutting tools all the time. So this benefit seems multifaceted to me. Not multiple setups, you're getting it into one setup, you're saving material costs, and you go back to that done-in-one that Bumotech is known for on that multi-axis. Is this kind of the all-inclusive prescription and answer for this Bumotech customer?
Yes, exactly. So it's very a must for us to have the part completely done. Also, we need to have a part like burr-free. This is also important. So when we unload the part, the finished part, it's completely done and it's ready, basically.
Hervé, you have so many incredible stories when it comes to Bumotech. So I know we can squeeze another one out of you, right? You have another success story you'd like to share with us?
So yeah, recently a customer doing watches contacted us and he heard about the Bumotech machines. So the goal for him is to find a machine where he can do most of his parts. So he has some low volume, about 100 parts. So he still wants to run lights out production, but also he needs the flexibility to do the bigger parts, but also the very, very small gears. And this is where we come up with a solution. Basically with our machine configuration, we can load from 65 diameter bar, so 2.5 inch, and we can go down to maybe 4 millimeters stock bar, so we are very flexible. So we were able basically to do all those parts. So doing lights out production, but also being very flexible on all the different parts and very precise part he has to do.
Well, anytime any of us around the world hears about Swiss precision and Swiss watches, we think about how technically sound you have to be to create that. And what you're describing to me is a flexible adaptation that allows us to have a bit more rigidity for the larger parts, but the precision that's needed for those tiny watch parts. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly, Tony. So it's a small machine built like a tank, so we can do bigger part, but also extreme precision, so we can do very tiny parts as well.
Steve, welcome to this round table full of brilliant minds, and I know that you have a story to share as well at Heckert, some difficult situation that you were help recover and bring to light and help bring customer success as well, right?
Yes, sir. Of course, there was a project in the works, and unfortunately, with the pandemic drawback, stepped in, able to continue on here in the U.S., provide local support for the customer, and get their machine into production. So this special Heckert 6-axis machine with what we call the DBF technology, which is an integrated contouring head, along with full 5-axis capability positioning. We were able to get this machine up into production that took the place of 3 other milling and turning machines, and so reduce a cycle time from 5 hours down to 2.5 for this particular customer in the oil and gas industry in the great state of Texas. As an application engineer, a close link with the service department here in the U.S. is also critical. we all have to work as a team to make sure the customer understands the high-end technology that Starrag offers today. And that's key, helping people understand how it all works, especially as things develop time and time again.
And I know your service department and your flexibility has brought over millions of dollars worth of parts here in the U.S. to make sure your customers are supported immediately if something goes down as well, right?
So yeah, currently the warehouse for Starrag service parts are here, based right in Hebron, Kentucky. Originally it was down in Dallas, Texas in the Fort Worth area. So with moving that product here, there's a closer eye on, in-stock items and quick response, having our own people closer to the warehouse. That provides a shorter delivery time for our service and parts as well.
Well, I know you guys out there love hearing that type of service and support. We all need the flexibility in our lives. So let's go ahead and pass the mic over to my buddy Matthew here and learn a little bit more about the education side of things and what it would be like to be a part of the apprenticeship here at Starrag. Matthew. So you are my last victim of the day. I do appreciate you joining me at this wonderful round table full of beautiful minds. Starrag has been around since the 1800s with SIP. SIP being that launch, that incredible product. I know you know more about SIP than I do, but you've recently gone through the apprentice program here at Starrag, and I want to share your journey with the audience out there, people going, I know I want to do something with my life, but what do I want to do? And I don't want to go in massive student debt, right? So
Absolutely.
If you wouldn't mind sharing your story with our audience, they would love to hear it.
For me, when I came to Starrag, I really was looking for just not another job. I wanted a career, I wanted a path forward, I wanted to be able to gain skills that I desperately wanted. I got into machining early with my dad's shop, and it always intrigued me. So moving around from job to job, I found it more and more interesting, but landing at Starrag gave me this opportunity to really learn everything I've wanted. Every time I've asked for more, they've given me more, and I relish in that. That's really how I move forward, learning new things.
And Matthew, you've been in this industry for a little while. Starrag's not your first place, right? You've been learning and growing the entire time. So how valuable do you find it that whenever there's a ceiling, you're able to go past that ceiling again and again? You mentioned that every time you've asked for something, you've been able to learn more. For me, that was why I left a few of my jobs, and that's the reason why I am where I am today. It's because we constantly want to grow, don't we? We want to absorb everything we can.
And that's absolutely the same for me. I've hit a lot of ceilings myself, moving around from different companies, and that's coming in day one, speaking with the management and the owners of Starrag, that wasn't going to be a problem, and it's never going to be a problem. If you put yourself forward and you can prove it, then there's a new position for you here, and you can keep going that way. I started off in service for 5 years now. I'm now transitioning into my new role as a Bumotech applications engineer, and it's going to be a challenge, but everyone is behind me. I have fantastic support from all of these guys. I have gone to these factories across the ocean into Switzerland and Germany to see hands-on how they do it there. And being able to bring the service side and my deep knowledge of Bumotech in particular, I think it's going to give me an edge for bringing our customers a different perspective.
What advice would you offer either a high school student or a college person or someone who's maybe even lost in the field right now that's looking for direction and opportunity? What advice could you offer them to maybe hop in or at least investigate this apprenticeship program with Starrag?
Well, it's a great opportunity. You don't have to take on a massive student debt to learn something new that's going to propel you into a career. And it's not just a starting point. This is going to be everything you need. The apprentice program at Starrag can teach you how to repair, how to sell, how to do the applications. Everything here is meant to give you the skills you need to actually do your job right and to bring value where I think other companies kind of fall behind. For the kids or for someone who's in college, you don't always have to know what you want to do. But having an idea, that's what brought me to Starrag. They make the nicest machines. These are the Ferraris of the machine world. Super high precision, super speed, amazing applications that have taken me across the world to different factories. So between the travel, all of the networking, the people I've met, the ridiculous stuff that I've learned, there's nothing but opportunity at Starrag, you know. And so for someone else who is coming or wishes to come or even wants to get into the industry, I would definitely reach out to us. You know, we're happy to bring bright, intelligent young minds or old minds into the mix because everyone has something to offer and we have something to offer them.
Well, Matthew, I absolutely love that. And to your point, guys and gals out there who are watching this, how many of you are 2-3 years into college and don't know what you want anyway? Imagine being able to do that and not have a debt. Imagine that, and coming into Starrag and having not just a job, as Matthew said, but a career, a long-lasting career. And it can grow in any aspect of it, from applications to sales and any part of engineering. So take that in mind when you're listening to this conversation. Matthew, thank you so much for sharing your perspective on the story. So guys, I'd like to open it up now for any discussion amongst yourselves as a true roundtable. If you guys want to discuss ideas amongst each other that you'd like to convey that we may have missed in this conversation with this global audience.
So I guess I think that when I look at Starrag, I think that I see a couple of things, right? One is a full solution provider that has the capability of being able to condense multiple machines down to a single one to produce parts in the least amount of operations possible. And then I think as far as our resources and our ability to support customers in the United States, you know, the thing about it is we bring a very diverse experience to the problem-solving mix.
That's how I would put it, Matt, really. I'm always impressed. You know, coming in on the training side, I'm looking to you guys to teach me things. And I look at your work and I look at the examples and the products that you're willing to share and show me. And it's always, you know, it's imaginative solutions that come up that, you know, they're not my first thought. So by getting all these extra perspectives from really intelligent people, it's enlightening, and it's going to make my learning easier. So I find, like, the way you work on these blades, you can optimize those. They come out faster and faster and looking nicer and nicer every single one you've made.
So I was also talk about, you know, the training, because I think most of our machine, they are pretty sophisticated compared to what other customer had used to use. So we are very focused also on the training. For me, it's very important that the customer, once I leave his place, he understands how to use the machine and he's ready to go by his own. That's why, in my opinion, the best way is to be very flexible with the training, because everybody has different skills, everybody has different knowledge and experience. So when it comes to training, I think it's important for us.
So Matt, we're going to bring this to full conclusion with you to talk about the significance and importance of what it means to be local, to have a local U.S. team, to be able to be separated and spread out throughout the U.S. to make sure all your customers are taken care of, all the training that goes along with it. Let's touch on that significance to you and to the entire Starrag program.
Absolutely. I mean, Tony, like you said, it's incredibly important to be able to support our customers. And you know, as our customers may know, we are a European-based company, but we are building and have a presence within the United States to be able to support them on the time frame that they're working at, in the time zone that they're working at. You know, the Starrag headquarters is local to Kentucky, but we have application engineers spread out across the time zones, and we're a phone call away. You're not waking anybody up in the middle of the night, right? And then additionally, one of the big advantages of having local support here in the U.S. is being able to support our military customers, being able to, you know, work on those ITAR compliant projects without having to, you know, jump through as many hoops.
I think that is very well said. So everyone watching, Thank you so much for spending time with us and learning more about all the lines that have to do with Starrag, Bumotech, SIP, all the service that goes along with it, the importance of being here in the U.S. You are supported by an incredible application team, as you can see here with these guys. And if you need to reach out, give these guys a call anytime. Thank you so much.